Hey guys, what's up? It's All About Mike 18 here with another movie review. The time has finally come, guys, for me to review Paranormal Activity 4, the fourth film in the found footage Paranormal Activity franchise. Alright guys, now let me just start off this review by saying this. I was really anticipating Paranormal Activity 4 when I heard it was going to be released. Unlike most people who just cannot wait for this franchise to die. That's right, a lot of people really hate the Paranormal Activity franchise. A lot of people like the first, and then they felt that 2, 3, and now 4 should never have even been made. They should have just left it at Paranormal Activity, the original, and they should have never even made sequels. A lot of people even hated the first one. They just didn't want anything to do with it. Now we have Paranormal Activity 4 movie. Like I said, I've been really anticipating. This was actually one of my most highly anticipated movies all year. Bad reviews started coming out with this movie. This movie has like a 30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, oh god, this better not be bad. Which I believe is the lowest rating for a Paranormal Activity movie on Rotten Tomatoes as of right now. And you know what? Coming out of this theater this afternoon, I said, wow, this was really good. I really enjoyed Paranormal Activity 4, guys. And you know what? Even with the bad reviews, I said, you know what? I'm still going to enjoy this movie. I had a little bit of, negativity, especially after I saw the reviews. But then after walking out of the theater, I'm like, why did I even doubt this movie? Why do I trust critics sometimes? No, this movie was great. I really enjoyed Paranormal Activity 4, guys. Probably because I'm a fan of it. And I haven't seen a really good movie in a while in the theaters. Like Taken 2, it was the last one I saw. It was alright. And then I saw a couple before that. House at the End of the Street was alright. Possession was horrible. Apparition was horrible. And now it's Paranormal Activity 4. It's safe to say that this is one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Alright guys, so I want to start off my review, talking about the story, the cast a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about the cast, the characters a little bit, and a couple other things, and I'll give my rating of Paranormal Activity 4. Okay guys, now as for the story of Paranormal Activity 4, now PA4 is a sequel to Paranormal Activity 2. If you don't remember what happened in Paranormal Activity 2, they do show what happened in the end of that in the beginning of this, which is something I liked. In the end of PA2, possessed Katie came to her sister's house. She killed her sister's husband, and she killed her sister herself, being Christy, and she took their son, Hunter. And in the end of that movie, it said Hunter and Katie's whereabouts remain unknown. Now it is Paranormal Activity 4. It is like 5 or 6 years later. The story takes place in a whole different state. The first 3 took place in California. This one takes place, I believe, in Nevada. I don't remember what state it said, but it is now like 5 or 6 years later, and the movie focuses on a new family with a new main lead role, a 15 or 16-year-old girl by the name of Alex. She was that blonde chick we saw in the trailers, and she has a next-door neighbor who lives right across the street from her, named Robbie, and Robbie's this really creepy, weird kid, and something happens to Robbie's mother, who we don't see really in the beginning of the movie at all. She's just talked about. Something happens to her late one night. She is taken by ambulance cars surround her house, so apparently she's supposedly taken to a hospital, and now Robbie has nowhere to go with. He has no relatives or anything like that, so he comes over to Alex's house to stay with Alex and her family until his mother gets out of the hospital. So the kid Robbie, who's 6 years old, I guess he starts to bond a little bit with Alex's 6-year-old adopted brother Wyatt, and they're both the same age, but of course Robbie's like 10 times creepier than Wyatt is. And then you have Alex's mother, her father, they're all living in the house, and as soon as Robbie comes over to Alex's house, and he starts staying with them, weird things start happening. Boom, right then and there, weird things start happening. Alex starts hearing noises at night. Robbie is starting to talk to people that aren't there, something that's not there, like an invisible friend. And with the idea of, it is now the idea of Alex's boyfriend Ben to set up laptops around the house to record what's going on day and night, to catch anything weird that goes on camera. and I believe they're using like laptop webcams, and that's something cool I like with these movies. They use like different kind of like cameras each movie. In the second one, it was security cameras that were installed in the house. In the third one, it was cameras attached to rotating fans, which I actually thought was very creative. In this one, it's laptop webcams, I believe, which I also very enjoyed and I thought was creative. And the first one was just a regular old one camera that was catching everything that was going on in the house. And that's pretty much the story. So, of course, more weird things start happening, and things start to get a little more serious. You know, a couple of, a little scares here and there, little creepy moments here and there. And we finally meet Hunter and Katie midway in the movie, and that's all I'm going to say for the story of Paranormal Activity 4. Now, I did want to talk about how Hunter and Katie come into the movie, because they are in this movie, but I'm not going to say how. I don't want to spoil a thing. I want you guys to be as surprised as I was when I saw what was going on with the movie. But I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying that they are in this movie. I think most of you guys knew that if you watched the trailer, and so that's not spoiling anything at all. But the story of Paranormal Activity 4 was decent. I liked the writing. I enjoyed it overall. And I love how it did connect to the first three movies in some way. It wasn't... when I first saw the trailer, I was like, alright, you know what? This is probably going to be different from the first three. The writing's probably going to be somewhat different. The whole overall idea, the whole story that's been going on with these movies is probably going to be different. But I was completely wrong. It was, it connected to what was going on with the first three movies, which is what I liked. So the story and everything was good. Next thing I want to briefly talk about is the cast of this movie. Now, I'm briefly going to talk about the cast members. You have Kathryn Newton playing the 15, 16-year-old blonde chick, and she was good in this movie. A lot of people were like, her acting's probably going to be bad after they saw her in the trailer. But no, she was good in this movie. The couple parts I said, her acting's iffy, but, I liked her overall, Alex. And, the actress is kind of attractive, I'm not going to lie. And no, I'm not being a pervert. I am not creepy. No, I'm not. I am actually, to be honest, I'm a couple years older than her anyway, so it's not creepy at all. No, don't call me creepy in the comments. I'm not. I'm just kidding, guys. But Kathryn Newton was good in this movie. And then you have Matt Shively playing the boyfriend, Ben. And he was one of the best parts of this movie. Matt Shively was hilarious in this movie. And I've never seen him anywhere before. I've seen his face somewhere. I know I have. I just cannot remember where. It'll come to me one day. But Matt Shively was funny in this movie. His character was funny. One of the funniest characters throughout this whole franchise by far. I definitely loved Matt Shively in this movie. And, of course, you have Katie Featherstone. I forget. I can't believe I forgot her last name. But just the actress who plays Katie is in this movie, and she was good. She was in this movie a lot more than she was in the first three. In the first one she was obviously in it the most, but in this one she was in it more than 2 and 3. 2 and 3 she was just in it kind of, briefly, a little bit. In this one, briefly a little bit too, but she was a lot more in it, which is something I liked. I couldn't wait to finally see her and Hunter come back. Even though it's 6 years later, because I couldn't wait to see what happened to them from the end of 2. So Katie, the actress who plays Katie, Katie Featherstone, was good in this movie, of course. That's all I'm going to talk about regarding the cast. The parents, yeah, they were good. The kids playing Robbie and Wyatt, they were good. Next thing I want to talk about, guys, is this movie's rating. Now, this movie is rated R, and if you don't know what you're getting going into these movies, then I don't know why I don't know. But if you've been watching these movies and if you're underage, you should be able to tolerate the fourth one. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing in terms of what it's rated for as the other three. This movie's rated for language, for, like creepy scenes and, like violence. Same thing as the other three. Yeah, there's language in this. Yeah, there's some depths in this. And yeah, there's, some creepy parts that could creep out a little kid for sure. But, any, 14, 15-year-olds, yeah, go and see this movie. You're really not going to be creeped out by it. Get someone older to get you in to see it. You'll enjoy it. But younger kids, of course, should not be in this movie. No, they'll be creeped out for weeks if they go into these movies. But I think the next thing I'm going to talk about, guys, was this movie scary? Well, I am pleased to say this is the scariest, well, creepiest movie I have seen all year. The last 20 minutes in this movie creeped the crap out of me. I swear to you. Creeped the living shit out of me. I'm sorry I had to say it. It did. Last 20 minutes was perfect of this movie. Very creepy. Sent a little chill tingling down my spine. I mean, I was really, I was, I couldn't believe how creeped out I was by the end of the last 20 minutes of the movie. Definitely great. I mean, take the last 20 minutes of this movie. Just the last 20 minutes alone was creepier than Silent House, The Apparition, and The Possession combined. 3 of the worst movies I've seen all year. Horrible movies, not even remotely scary. This movie, the last 20 minutes, is creepier than those 3 movies combined, easily. I absolutely loved this movie because it was creepy, it was scary. Put yourself in their shoes, these characters' shoes. Yeah, you'd be creeped out. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that with this movie. And something I also like that they introduced into the movie, they used webcams in this, which is something I like. That's different. And they also used the Xbox Kinect. I don't know what Kinect is. I've never used it before. I've just heard of it. And they turned on like the laser lights that shows like these lasers like at night. When if you turn the lights off, it shows nothing but green lasers, and it could show like something that's invisible that you can't see. Using the laser lights, and the invisible thing that is seen is caught on camera, which is something that was definitely very creepy with the Kinect laser lights. I definitely liked that with this movie. Okay, guys, it is time for me to give my rating of Paranormal Activity 4, and a lot of you guys that are not fans of this movie are going to be disappointed with what I give this movie, but I am going to give Paranormal Activity 4 a 9 out of 10. I'm pretty sure about half of your jaws just dropped open after you heard the rating that I just gave this movie. That's right, guys. I give Paranormal Activity 4 a 9 out of 10. It's probably the best Paranormal Activity movie of the franchise so far. I enjoyed this movie. The last 20 minutes, like I said, completely won me over with this movie. It was so freaking cool, mind-blowing. I was so pleased with this movie, especially the ending, the best ending by far. Now, the things I enjoyed about this movie, like I said, the story was decent. I loved how it connected to the other 3. It was not irrelevant in any way. I thought it was going to be really relevant, but it wasn't. I loved seeing Hunter and Katie finally come back, finally finding out what happens to their characters a little bit. Even though it's 6 years later, we get to see them finally. The cast was good. Like I said, Matt Shively, whatever his name is, really won me over with his performance. Definitely funny as hell. And of course, I liked the webcam and the Kinect introduction, and I also liked some of the creepy moments that were in this movie. There were a lot of cool creepy moments. Did the moments like absolutely scare the living hell out of me? No, it did not. No movie really, really scares me. It has to be really super scary to scare me. But this is by far the scariest movie I've seen all year. No, I did not see Sinister though. I heard that this was even more that Sinister was even more scarier than this. But I did not see Sinister. I have to buy it on Blu-ray. But this is the scariest movie I've seen all year. Best horror movie I've seen all year by far, guys. I highly recommend you see it. With my complaints with this movie, I really don't have too much. Maybe I wanted a couple more scares here and there with the movie. But that's always what you feel when you walk out of the Paranormal Activity. You always want more scares. So that's why I probably demoted this movie's score a little bit lower than a 9.5 or whatever. But, but it was great. Other than the fact that I wanted some more scares, maybe a couple more, like levitating objects, like in the third one. They did have that in this, but maybe I want a little bit more. But and also the beginnings of the Paranormal Activities, they always take a while for you to get into the movie, for them to get going. Same thing with this one. You know what? If you've seen the first 3, you know what you're getting into going into this movie. So I don't even have to explain it. It's the same kind of like setup a little bit. Beginning takes a while to get going, and then you have the creepy stuff happening from the middle to the end. This had the best ending out of all of them by far. I loved the ending. It was so creepy. Just the expression on Katie's face at the end of the movie. That's all I'm going to say. Like, the thing that happened to her face. Wow. So creepy. Enjoy it. So pleasing. I loved it. I walked out of the theater. I was like, wow, that was really, that had a really lasting impression on me. Let's just say that. So guys, 9 out of 10. I really enjoy this movie. I gave it such a high rating because I'm a fan of this movie. And that's what a lot of critics have been saying. If you're a fan of this movie, they've been saying you'll enjoy it. You'll really enjoy it. But if you're not going to enjoy it. And you know what? I would pretty much agree with that. If you're a fan like me, you're going to enjoy this movie just like the first 3. This is probably my favorite one. My order is probably 4, 2, 3, and 1. Another thing with this movie, the things that were in the trailer were in the movie, except for maybe one thing that they didn't put in. It wasn't like with Paranormal Activity 3. There was like, they cut so much stuff out of it, which I was disappointed with. But this, yeah, most of it was in it. So guys, Paranormal Activity 4, please go see this movie. It's the best horror movie I've seen all year, like I said. Did not see Sinister yet, so I can't compare this to Sinister. But out of all the other horror movies I've seen this year, best one. I will for sure buy this movie on Blu-ray. I enjoyed it, guys. Paranormal Activity 4 gets 2 thumbs up for me. Nothing else more that I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else about this movie other than this. There will definitely, by the way this movie ended, there will be a Paranormal Activity 5. There just has to be. I know they're going to make a 5th one, and I will be right there opening weekend in the theater watching Paranormal Activity 5, hopefully when it comes out next year. I hope this franchise keeps going. It's a good horror franchise. I have slowly become a diehard fan, especially with the ending of this one. It was so mind-blowing, so epic. I love this movie, guys. Creepy as hell. Didn't scare the living crap out of me, but it was definitely creepy. Paranormal Activity 4, guys. Please go see this weekend. Give it money at the box office. It deserves it. It's a good horror movie. Thank you for watching my review of Paranormal Activity 4. Bye, guys.